why. And it like we don't not need maybe Moon Knight too would be all right, but Miss Marvel we do not need a Miss Marvel too. They keep beating us over the head. I understand Miss Marvel kind of stole the show in the Marvels, but a show we don't need another show. If anything, they are proving to us that only certain shows work. WandaVision worked. Hawkeye was good, even though a lot of people didn't think it would be. I didn't think it would be. There's only certain shows that worked. Loki, God tier. I'm not talking about Loki. I'm talking about the show. God tier. We already know Loki's a god. Loki is God tier. The greatest Marvel show ever. Like, hands down. It's like they really took their time with that. I would pay to go see the Loki show in theaters. Moon Knight, that's a toss-up. The show was all right. It wasn't bad, but I don't think it was great. I would rather see Moon Knight like in a movie. I feel like that was more movie quality than him having a show. Because a lot of it just... They were just had a lot of filler episodes I didn't really care about. That could have been a movie. All right, but I guess we're about to see. And also, they say that Deadpool 3 is the only movie coming out next year. I guarantee that's a lie. I guarantee they're gonna have more movies coming out. They're not announcing it yet. Guarantee it. But let's see what it is.
So it looks like a lot of Marvel fans are going to be getting what they have wanted, as we have reports that not only is Miss Marvel going to be getting a season 2, but also Moon Knight. A lot of people have been waiting for an announcement for a season 2 for both of these MCU projects on Disney Plus. And it's definitely extremely exciting news, but what does it mean for the current state of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Where are these projects going to take place in? Are they going to come somewhere in Phase 6 before Avengers Secret Wars, or are they going to be coming in Phase 7 after Secret Wars? We also have a little bit of news about the Kang versus Doom situation, whether or not Marvel Studios is considering getting rid of Kang altogether, or if they are keeping him in the MCU as the main big bad villain, whether that is recasting Jonathan Majors or Jonathan Majors remaining in the role if he is found innocent.
I don't think they'll recast him.
Over today. If you're new, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the entered items. The might be a part of Phase 6. It looks like we're slowly starting to learn a little bit more about Phase 6, because keep in mind, we still don't know that much about it. Technically, Marvel has only officially announced 3 projects for Phase 6, the Fantastic Four and the 2 Avengers films. So Moon Knight Season 2 and Miss Marvel Season 2 could fall in the Phase 6 category. And we can kind of assume that Marvel is going to kind of pack the end of Phase 5 and all of Phase 6 with quite a decent amount of projects. I know the plan for Marvel Studios is for them to kind of pull back on content a little bit, but at the same time, they do have to build up to one of the biggest events that we're ever going to witness, Avengers Secret Wars. According to some insiders, this is going to be even bigger than Avengers Endgame. And if you just think about what is possible.
That's what scares me. They keep saying, so we got all this anticipation for this movie, and if it lets down, it's going to be like the biggest bummer ever. This is going to be the biggest letdown ever, because Endgame was you can't rekindle Endgame. Endgame, nobody really was expecting it to be like that, and it was that. So I don't think they're trying to redo that flame, and I don't think we're going to get that flame. Not saying that the movie can't be good. It's just, if it's not perfect, if it's not like mind blowing, everyone's going to say it's a letdown.
For Avengers Secret Wars with the multiverse, all of the old characters being able to return, like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is returning. We could get the original X-Men back. And plus, of course, not to mention, Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, and Chris Evans could return as well. So this could be bigger than Avengers Endgame if they do it right. But the new Avengers team we know has to be built up as well. And we're looking at these characters that they introduced in Phase 4, like Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, Shang-Chi, and we haven't exactly seen them kind of get with the other Avengers characters yet. We know that Wong basically recruited Shang-Chi for the Avengers, and we know that the 10 rings are most likely Kang technology. It was made pretty obvious in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Plus, we still believe that the bangles are Kang technology as well. After all, they have the power, if they are together, to open a portal into another universe. That definitely sounds like Kang technology. So there are still a lot of stories that we have not brought together yet, and Moon Knight and Miss Marvel both getting a season 2 makes a lot of sense if you think about kind of the premise for both of them. Moon Knight essentially took us to Egypt, kind of ancient Egypt, and we talked about the gods. Well, Kang's story in the comics essentially begins in ancient Egypt. Nathaniel Richards, which is Kang the Conqueror's real name, in the 31st century discovered time travel technology created by Victor Von Doom, who of course is Doctor Doom. From there, he travels back in time to ancient Egypt using a sphinx-shaped ship, and he becomes the pharaoh Rama-Tut, who we have recently seen in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. He was a part of the trio of Kangs, the Council of Kangs that we saw in the post-credit scene. So here there could be a pretty big connection between Moon Knight and Kang the Conqueror, and if they're going to do a season 2, part of that will probably focus on that connection with Kang, because if it does indeed come out in
You dream, you plan, you work. Every hour, every day, every night. There is no
Phase 6, it's most likely going to come out after Kang Dynasty, but of course before Secret Wars. So Moon Knight will most likely be a part of the huge fight in Secret Wars, so season 2 is going to have to build up to that. So making Kang, or Rama-Tut, kind of a central point to that would connect Moon Knight very, very nicely. So that could be a big story of Moon Knight season 2. That, and of course, he doesn't think he has Khonshu anymore, but we know he does. Plus, not to mention Jake Lockley. So a lot to unpack there for season 2. Really glad we are getting a season 2. I really enjoyed Moon Knight. And we've talked about this a little bit, but Miss Marvel season 2 just makes sense as well if you consider the fact that she now has both bangles, and apparently was even able to control them better than Dar-Benn did. But of course, we could probably say that it's because she's a mutant. Don't forget about that. So her mutant genes are probably what gave her the power to be able to withstand the power of both bangles, which is why Dar-Benn couldn't handle the bangles, but Miss Marvel could. Now she has both. And again, most insiders have said that the bangles are indeed Kang technology, and we assume they are as well, especially again if you consider the fact that they can open up portals to other universes. So we're not sure if Kang is going to want back the 10 rings or want back the bangles or any other weapons out there that he might have created, but we do know that they are definitely connected to Kang. So to bring Miss Marvel even further into Avengers Secret Wars, and we know she's going to be a main character of the MCU moving forward after Avengers Secret Wars as well, it would make sense that season 2 would focus on both bangles and how they're connected to Kang the Conqueror. So I'm definitely looking forward to Miss Marvel season 2 as well. I did enjoy season 1, however, I believe at the end it kind of fell off in the writing area. The show started off really great, but the writing just suffered at the end. So I'm hoping they do a really good job with the season 2 because I think it has a lot of potential. And again, Iman Vellani is perfect as Miss Marvel. And like I mentioned, we do have a little bit of an update about the Jonathan Majors remaining Kang situation and the situation of if Kang is even remaining the big bad of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or could Marvel be considering making Doom the main villain of the MCU moving forward, which is what Variety said they are considering. Well, keep in mind that recently insider Daniel RPK stated that Marvel Studios is still moving forward with Kang. He said they may introduce Doom, but Kang is still going to be the main focus. Let's hope that is true. However, insider Jeff Snyder,
Like, that's how I already felt like that they were going to do that, because they put so much emphasis on Kang, even though it didn't really work with the Ant-Man movie, and I mean the Loki movie, I mean, shows it works. I think they're just not going to, they're not going to structure it where it's just Kang. I think they're going to bring in Doctor Doom, but they're still going to have the Kang Dynasty. They're still going to have all that because they already teased us with it. Like, it'll be dumb on their part not to go forward with it. But I don't think Kang is the Thanos threat like we all thought he was. Because, bro, he loses in every time he gets in a show. Ant-Man, he loses. Loki, he loses. Loki 2, he ate up his spaghetti. Like, bro, when are we not going to see him die? He dies in everything.
Snyder recently revealed on the John Roca podcast, basically that he wasn't sure if the next Avengers film is indeed going to be titled The Kang Dynasty. And he said that the next two Avengers films, which we'll just call Avengers 5, which right now is Kang Dynasty, and Avengers 6, Secret Wars, could simply just be Secret Wars Part 1 and Secret Wars Part 2. If Marvel Studios goes down this path, that means that Kang might not be such a prominent figure in the MCU moving forward. He could still definitely be the main villain, but they could have a variant of him, like a Beyonder variant, like we've heard is going to appear, be played by another actor. Again, this still really all depends on if Jonathan Majors is found innocent or if he is found guilty. Marvel Studios is obviously considering all of their options, which is why we are hearing so many different reports. I don't doubt that these insiders are hearing what they're saying they've heard. I believe them, but I do think Marvel's considering literally every option moving forward, which is why we're hearing a few different things. I would like to think that if Jonathan Majors is found innocent, he would continue on playing Kang the Conqueror in the MCU, and Kang would continue to be the main villain. You don't need to bring Doom in, save him for later, and have Kang, the Beyonder variant of Kang, whatever it may be, the Kang trio, Immortus, Ramatut, Scarlet Centurion, whoever it may be, have Kang, played by Jonathan Majors, remain the big bad of Avengers Secret Wars. But Marvel is clearly considering not having the next Avengers title be Kang Dynasty, and maybe they will simply do what Jeff Snyder says and make a Secret Wars Part 1 and a Secret Wars Part 2. It's an option for sure for Marvel Studios, but we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, let us know what you think about all of this in the comments down below. Are you excited for Moon Knight Season 2 and Miss Marvel Season 2? And what do you think Marvel should do with Kang?
All right, so Moon Knight could work. Moon Knight wasn't bad. Miss Marvel, I don't know. I don't know. Post below your comments what y'all think. Let me know.